नहमदुहु व नसल्ली अला रसूलिहिल करीम अम्मा बाद फ़अऊज़ु बिल्लाहि मिनश शैतानिर रजीम बिस्मिल्लाहिर रहमानिर रहीम रब्बि इश्रह ली सदरी व यस्सिर ली अमरी वहलुल उक़दतम मिन लिसानी यफ़क़हू क़ौली रब्बि यस्सिर व ला तुअस्सिर व तम्मिम बिल खैर आमीन या रब्बल आलमीन Bi'iznillahi ta'ala. Today I'm going to produce the first video of our way on the journey to learn Arabic grammar. Well, you will say, I really don't need to learn Arabic grammar because I have copies of Quran translated in English, Urdu, French, etc. Clearly, it is much better to read Quran with translation than without it. However, translation is never a substitute to any language. During translation of a language to another, we tend to lose about 15 to 20% of what we intend to convey. And in the case of Arabic, that could be even higher. It could be up to 30%. So at this stage, I would like to make two further points. Number one, Arabic is a very easy language to learn. It is highly logical and scientific language. There are clear and easily understood rules to govern the use of words and construction of sentences and phrases. So I'll say it is never too late to learn the language. Number two, our aim is going to be to learn classical Arabic, which is very different than modern standard Arabic, which is used in Arab countries these days. There are certain common principles that apply to nearly all the languages. These are levels of use of the language employed in communications. So different languages, different levels of a language could be, for example, the first level is, lowest level is that of the street language. There are no rules to follow, there are no regulations. You learn the language as you go along. And sometimes, interestingly, you can convey what you want to say even without the use of a single word. And above that street level is the level of colloquial Arabic. This style is adopted by the vast majority of the population. Certain norms are silently followed without any written rules. And then comes the stage of the formal Arabic, a language which is used in newscasting, newspapers, magazines, journals, etc. And statesmen's speeches are based mostly on formal Arabic. And above that level is that of the classical Arabic, which is really limited to old poetry and some religious books. And height of classical Arabic is Quran. Irab is a very important feature of classical Arabic, and Quran without Irab is not Quran. Some statesmen, when they want to show their chops and they want to impress their audience, they tend to make use of the Irab, but mostly they don't really bother at all. With this, let us move on to the difference between especially English and Arabic language. I will say that English is like a very, very old computer. You know, those big machines which used to cover most of our desk space, and we couldn't really do much with them. We could type on them, a bit of use of the internet, but not much. And the reason for that is, for example, if we change the place of object with subject in English, the meaning changes completely. While in Arabic, we can do that quite easily without changing the meaning of the whole sentence. So Arabic is actually like the latest Mac, which is, this is a highly customizable language. Let us look these examples to highlight this difference. For example, I have written here a sentence which is a translation of part of ayah number 4 of Surah Baqarah, which we all remember by heart. And the translation, the common translation is, they are sure of the hereafter. I can translate that English in 3 different ways. First is yuqinuna bil akhirah. Second, hum yuqinuna bil akhirah. And third, wa bil akhirati hum yuqinun. Yuqinuna bil akhirah, they are sure of the hereafter. Hum yuqinuna bil akhirah, they are sure of the hereafter. Wa bil akhirati hum yuqinun, they are sure of the hereafter. The general meaning of these 3 constructions is the same. However, there are minor, subtle, and significant differences between these 3 constructions. I'm not going to go into those differences today. We will, inshallah, one day we'll look at this ayah in detail. And then at that stage, I will tell you what I meant. However, I will say that this is not Quran. This is not Quran. This is Quran. And there is a reason that Allah Ta'ala used this construction rather than the other 2 constructions.